Want to welcome Shane Romines to the King of the Morning radio show on this Friday morning. Shane, good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in today. We're going to talk about some serious stuff here today, some things that you've been doing as far as school security is concerned. I know a lot of the listeners have probably heard about it on the news and been watching some things that are going on there. And this came up after some school shootings happened. So kind of give us a little background on how you got interested in this and kind of what was the focal point for you as you go forward with this.
Sure. We were, after the Parkland shootings, watching the debate on Facebook. It was really centered on gun control, and of course it just doesn't seem like we're going to get any kind of resolution there, any kind of agreement. And so we wanted to do something, my wife and I, that would be something everybody could agree on. And so we started looking initially at stationary metal detectors, and so we pledged $25,000 to the Corbin schools, which is where our children go, to put in metal detectors, get them some tasers or guns, whatever they may want. And then over the weekend, that was on a Friday morning, over the weekend, these other area schools were contacting me on Facebook and saying, hey, what about us? What can you do to help us? And so on Monday, we expanded that and offered to pay for one metal detector for each of our high schools in the Tri-County area. And then it's just kind of grown from there.
Yeah, it certainly made a lot of news and a lot of interest picked up really fast. Were you kind of surprised at how fast the whole thing kind of took off when you got it started?
I really was, that it went so much further than just in the Corbin area. I mean, we've talked to folks in Pennsylvania and Missouri, all around the country. And then, of course, just the interest that parents had in the Tri-County area especially, but even we've raised money over in Bell County for the Pineville and Middlesboro and Bell County schools. So it did surprise me a little bit how quickly it took off and spread.
And, this takes a lot of input from the community. I know you've talked to a lot of people in the schools. How about regular people out in the community? What have they had to say to you about the effort that you're making, Shane?
Most folks, almost everybody has been very favorable and very complimentary of what we've been doing. Some have been disappointed in their boards of education for not taking more serious steps. They felt maybe just underestimating the risk that's there. And, in fairness, it's a small risk, but it's a devastating risk if it happens. And so, but they've been really on board, offering to help in any way they can if their school boards will get on board.
And how about people in the law enforcement community that have to deal with this kind of thing? Like you said, it's a small chance that something like this would happen, but certainly would be a tremendous tragedy if it did. What are the law enforcement people saying to you about these endeavors?
The ones I've spoken to, which have been some state policemen as well as local officers, have been very favorable. Some have been in favor of metal detectors and some not, but what we've seen is other ideas that have come out through just meetings that have helped them better prepare themselves for the events that could take place, and better organize between the city, the county, as well as the state police forces, and making sure the schools give them the proper access and so they can address those things with speed that needs to be addressed.
And, we were talking before we started the interview about some efforts you're making maybe to try to get some shatterproof, bulletproof glass installed at some of the schools. How's that going along, and how's that being received?
Well, it's not gone great, to be honest with you. So far, we had at Corbin, they did not do stationary metal detectors, so we raised them $51,400 for security officers. Well, Whitley County has come forward and said we want to put this 3M shatterproof film over all our windows at the high school, and that's a cost of $24,000 just at the high school. And so we've been encouraging folks on Facebook to get checks into the Whitley County Board of Education to help them pay for that. And at last check a couple of weeks ago, we really hadn't had that much funds come in. So we would encourage everyone who cares about the Whitley County school system to start mailing in some checks and helping them out with that expense. And, at Corbin, we had donations of $50, $100. It doesn't have to be a lot of money, whatever you can do, and they just ask that you mail it down to the Board of Education there at 300 Main Street in Williamsburg. And
the best way to stay on top of it, just get on there and like your Facebook page, I think.
That's right. Our office Facebook page at Copeland and Romines, we'll occasionally do some updates on there just to keep people up to date, and I'll be checking in with all these schools to keep up to date on the amounts that's been raised. Williamsburg is still to come forward with a specific plan, and then we'll be helping them as well.
All right, Shane, thanks for stopping by. I want to say thanks, too, for all the things you do here at the radio station. You sponsor lots of things that we do out in the community and so forth. We appreciate your support in that, and good luck with what you're trying to do here.
All right, Dave. Thank you very much.
That's attorney Shane Romines. Listen to the King of the Morning radio show, 104.3 Easy Country.